Hey, I'm Gino.
And I'm Mike.
Welcome to Major Push Wrestling Talk Show. Here we're going to talk about a whole plethora of different WWE news, along with some indie spotlights as well. And here we go. We're just going to get right into it. We decided to start this because when we were looking online for more in-depth discussion on what we had seen in the WWE weekly shows, other than talking with ourselves, we want to see other people's opinions. Maybe we weren't looking at it the proper way.
I mean, the way that you pitched it to me, he came up to me at work and just said that he wanted a one-stop shop for all the news. Maybe not go here for WWE news or here for New Japan Wrestling news or going here to ROH. Maybe like a one podcast thing, talk about a little bit of everything and kind of something interactive too. Like we want to get these people watching and they want to ask us questions. I mean, a little bit of everything. So let's just introduce ourselves. Let the viewers understand who we are. You can go first. Let them know who you are.
Yeah, as I said earlier, my name is Gino. I've been watching wrestling since I can remember. My dad's been into it. My grandfather was always into it. In fact, John Cena was my camp counselor back in the early 90s, mid-90s. Yeah, so technically I am a Cena mark. However, I don't just root for him just to root for him. I root for him because he's basically a friend of the family. But I love him to death, and he is my favorite wrestler of all time. Granted, they have the Rocks in there, the Edges, the Undertakers. But John Cena, if I had to choose live or die, it's always going to be John Cena.
Sure, at least you stand by it, though. I like that. You're not trying to be a John Cena nerd.
No, it's the cool thing to do is to hate him. It is what it is. But I mean, some people have legitimate gripes about it.
Hey, and at the same point, if you weren't a John Cena mark, and I wasn't either, then this podcast is kind of boring. It's not a one-sided thing.
We all agreeing on everything. I mean, it's not going to be any fun for you guys. It's definitely not going to be any fun for us. Oh yeah, I guess so. Okay.
Is this your first video podcast?
Yeah, this is going to be our first one. We're going to keep it on this channel for now. Hopefully we'll move it over to a different channel when it picks up. So you guys just give us ideas. Let us know in the comment section below this video. Sorry, it's our first time, so I'm not going to have to figure out where my hands need to be.
There'll be technical difficulties.
Below this, there may be technical difficulties as we've experienced with our first attempt at filming this. So just bear with us, guys. The audio is the most important thing about it anyway. All of this extra fun stuff is just for you guys. Keep you preoccupied.
I was just thinking, good thing we don't have a green screen or pin something in the
Oh
background.
yeah, you're
green
shirt
today.
Yeah, that would have been great. Okay, so yeah, what we want to do is to keep you guys making an engaging area for us to talk wrestling. So we're just going to jump right into it, and we're going to always start, or try to start with our Raw review, since these videos will be coming up Wednesday, if not Thursday morning. So we have a little order of how we want to do things. We're going to start with the major segments. We're going to give you our reviews of them. And we'll move on talking about our best of the night and things like that. So here we go.
And it's funny though, just to bring up before we get into it, you came up with this idea before we had an awesome edition of Raw. Like you didn't know that Raw was going to be good this week, and we are very lucky to start with an awesome Raw. I mean,
right. Well, because I wanted to do this originally because the Raws have been so bland. And with 3 hours of television, it's tough to do that. But then again, we're going to have plenty of time to talk about all of our gripes with it. So we'll just start with this Raw, and we'll move forward, and then, we'll have our reviews.
Hopefully it'll be good since we're in WrestleMania season now.
That's what they want the casual viewers to start watching, so they push us hardcore fans, towards the back.
Yeah.
But, with the opening segment, you thought it was great. I had some serious problems with it, because I don't need Triple H out there and showing his face everywhere. I don't need other people coming out when they're asking. What happened to the Attitude Era where if you went out to the middle of the ring and you said, I have a gripe with this person, you called them out, the only person that responded was that person. Seth Rollins came on screen, but that's after they had already made everybody pop for Brock Lesnar coming out and Triple H coming out and all these people. It's just like, enough is enough is enough. That's at least I thought. So
I understand where you're coming from, and it's the PG era. Things are going to be a little bit different. And, it seems like Seth Rollins is getting the cheap heat, it's kind of hit or miss. But the one thing that struck me that I thought about was, how many weeks in a row have we seen Brock Lesnar?
In a row? I think that would be 2.
2? I thought 2 or 3. We've been seeing a lot of Brock Lesnar lately. And, from what I read online and under my understanding, he has a certain amount of appearances. So, could this be them dumping all his appearances before WrestleMania? Could he be resigning with UFC?
I'm sure it is, but okay, you're going to use him twice on one show, right in the opening segment, and he looks like a pushover. Don't let him speak, because when he speaks, it's embarrassing. He hasn't been practicing. At least when he came out of OVW, where he was on his own, at least when he spoke, it was scary. Now it's just like, okay, I'm waiting for you to mess up. That's what I hear when Brock Lesnar is speaking. So, I mean, but yeah, it was good that he beat him up at the end, but we'll discuss the closing segment here later. But as far as the opening segment went, I thought it could have been done better if it was just Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar or Seth Rollins. That would build the heat up for the two bad guys, and it would want to see us clash with them. Hell, we might even see a Brock Lesnar face turn.
And then, is that when they introduced the WWE up? They did the WWE up in the very beginning too, right? How do you feel about the voting? Do you vote?
Oh gosh, don't even get me started on that vote. I always vote. I downloaded the app because you gotta have it. I mean, whether or not they are real, and this is, I've seen some things online that say it could be real voting, it could not be real voting. However, I like to believe that it is real. However, they're just persuading us to vote in the direction they want us to vote in, which is fine. But when you give us a question, should Cena give up his title opportunity to get these guys' jobs back, yes or no? And the answers are both bad and good at the same time. They even addressed it on Raw when they interviewed Cena. Do you think everybody's going to say yes? He goes, well, I think there's a double meaning behind it. No, of course there is. How about you phrase the question more than a yes or a no?
So is this you unhappy with Cena, or is you unhappy with the person interviewing?
I mean, it had nothing to do with the interview. It just had to do with the way the voting was set up.
Well, it seems like the next app is going to be like, well, do you think this person should face off in this match? Yes, totally, right on.
They've done that. I mean, Taboo Tuesday.
It just kind of, it's just like the same answer, in 3 different ways to express it.
Right, when you give me a give me a stipulation to choose from, and just no holds bars, a street fight, or a false count anywhere, I full on know the same spots are going to happen in that match.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same match, because it's the wrestlers, they need to know before they go out there and check the other. And I understand that, but come on, a tables match, a chairs match, or a ladder match. Those are 3 great choices with 3 completely different spots, but they're still going to give the same outcome of the match.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but I don't want to make the rules. We just watch it and then we talk about it right now. Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, I think I might be getting a little bit ahead of time, but we're talking about Raw right now. Now, since that was the go-home show before the Royal Rumble, who do you think, and like I said, I'm jumping ahead, who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble? I mean, that's what everyone's talking about right now.
Okay, Royal Rumble's coming up.
Who do you think's going to win?
About it. I mean, it doesn't really matter who I think is going to win, but who I want to win, I either want Daniel Bryan to actually enter the Royal Rumble. He's probably going to come in first, do a Chris Benoit. I want him to win, go all the way to WrestleMania, and take it home. However, it's going to be Roman Reigns. It's sad, as it is to say, because last year I would have loved for him to have won it.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Batista at the end.
But I don't have a problem with Batista.
Yeah, Batista.
Yeah, I have no problem with Batista. He embraces it. However, it's not his fault that they brought it back. I mean, he barely even got to promote his movie. He didn't get any good graces while he was there at all, Batista.
Yeah.
Granted, he was in the main event of WrestleMania. If you're going to have a triple threat, and he won the Royal Rumble, that's not what Royal Rumble winners get.
I think what people were frustrated about is that, I mean, even Dave himself, like I know him on a first-name basis.
Of course.
Here's
an example, though.
He wanted to come back and be a heel. I mean, he wanted to be a bad guy. And I think there was reports saying that he even told Triple H or Vince that, if you bring me back as a good guy, I'm going to get booed out the building. And then that's what happened. And, I mean, so you think Daniel Bryan, now, with the Royal Rumble being in Philly, do you think that's going to persuade Vince and higher up of who they're going to pick? To try to avoid something from last year, like them booing, Sheamus, Mysterio, Batista.
That was pretty funny.
And CM Punk's last match, rest in peace.
I thought you were talking about because since it's being in Philly that they're going to change it on site. I don't think they're going to change anything on site. I think they're going to have their plan when they get there.
But do you think it's going to kind of make them choose who they're going to win? Because
I could see that. However, it's not like WWE to change their plans. I mean, it took a overtaking of Raw. Is that what they called it? It's not. They were hijacking it, but what did they try to call it?
Hijack Raw. Hashtag.
Occupy Raw.
That's what WWE. It
was pathetic. But you can't use hijack. Yeah, it's a really bad word. I mean, it is what it is. USA. However, the Royal Rumble it is still a week away. We were all fresh off this Monday Night Raw. Now, there are so many things they could have done better. I mean, going back to the Ascension, the way that they look weak as shit.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that wasn't on my immediate notes. And I think it wasn't on my immediate notes, so I was so mad about it, and I didn't want to remind me of how horrible. I mean,
trying to forget it.
I mean, I read a lot of things that people hate on the Ascension. They're sloppy. I personally like them. Their intro song is awesome. I mean, I'm headbanging every time. I mean, they say that they're a ripoff of the Road Warriors. I think, they're not trying to be the Road Warriors. The announcers try to imply that with them. The announcers are putting that, that spotlight on them like that. And just why would you, beat these jobbers week? I mean, they're just improperly booking them. I think they're just wasting them. Kind of like your boy with the bunny. Don't even know his name anymore. Adam Rose. I mean,
first of all, let's just get one thing clear. He's not my boy. That's just the way we're going to be talking. Second of all, yes.
I'm glad you cleared that up.
I mean, yeah. Well, the assumption is they weren't being compared to LOD in NXT.
NXT, no.
And then they were being brought up. And you know what they did? They said something. They got that promo that kind of made a jab at, LOD, saying that they're better than them. But they were just trying to put themselves in the class of great tag teams. And I don't think WWE Creative realized that. I think that they took that as a shot at a dead guy and a former great. And that's why they're trying to compare it. And that's why JBL took off, great. There was a great segment when he came out. And he was like, you're not anything, I've got a tag team for you. We all knew where it was going. But just to hear that APA music again, actually I think that's the music we'll try and start it with. But we'll see what happens. The APA is one of my favorite tag teams of all time. And just hearing that music just gets me all sorts of giddy. And then, Fruit.
I mean, that's one of the first things you said to me is how happy you were about hearing
the APA. When I came in the next day after Raw for work, I was like, damn, the APA segment was.
What do you think about JBL growing his hair back, long and black, bringing it back?
Is he gonna bring it back?
No,
I would love for that. But I mean, if so we call him JBL, but I loved him more as Bradshaw. But he did so much for his career as JBL that it's like if he didn't do the JBL gimmick, we probably wouldn't be talking to him.
I completely agree.
If he just done this for Farouk or Ron Simmons or whatever it's trying to call him.
You bringing up the legends, and I can't believe we haven't discussed this earlier, reminded me of my favorite part about Raw. And for anybody that said that they thought that Damien Sandow was Damien Sandow when he came dressed up as X-Pac is incorrect. Everybody thought that was X-Pac for at least a couple of seconds.
I was like, damn, he got fat and huge
his
all at the
beard
same
looks
time.
good. I mean, oh man. It took me a good couple seconds. Then when Waltman walked on the stage, I mean, it still took me a while to realize that was.
Yeah, I thought that when Waltman actually walked into the set, I thought that was not X-Pac. I thought that was somebody that was using to make fun of the real X-Pac. And then I saw, I was like, oh my God, that's the Miz. Or Miz Dow, excuse me. See, that's what they're doing with this character. I don't even know his real name anymore. That's the problem.
It's just good to see Miz Dow in a segment with Trips, Kevin Nash, Waltman, Michaels, Scott Hall. And, I mean, I remember last time I saw Sandow at a live event, it was in Orlando. It was the Raw where he cashed in on Cena.
I was there.
You were there?
Yeah, we were both there. We weren't sitting in the same spots, but yeah, I was there.
And, I mean, think about how much he's got buried since then, and now he's finally, the crowd is bringing him back. This is why we talk about stuff on Major Push Wrestling talk show, because, I mean, these are people we want to push. We want to see Sandow. I mean, Sandow's a good wrestler.
Right, and that's why I love wrestling so much. People always ask me, well, it's not a real sport. The outcomes are predetermined. It's fake. Shut up. When you look at it from an actual standpoint of these are people putting it all on the line every single day. Football we got a week in between games. NBA, you're every night, but it's really not that hard on your body. Baseball, you do 2 a day because it's not that hard. I mean, granted, the wrestling you do 2 a day, but these guys are on the road every night wrestling, putting their bodies on the line. And the best part about it all is that it might not be real, but these guys are really jumping and they're really falling. And the best thing about wrestling is we have a say. If we don't like something, we can talk about it. We can talk about it right now, and not like with the scandals going on in the NFL and all that stuff. If we can be heard, and things can be changed for the better. Look at last year with the Royal Rumble. This time last year, us, the fans, were able to change what we were going to get as a product going into WrestleMania. Name one other sport that you can do that for.
You can't.
You can't, and that's why I love wrestling, and I love talking about it.
And I mean, that's another thing that you're coming across, like, we know it's staged. We know there's a storyline. We just like to give our opinion on how to progress the storyline, how to properly maybe book it. I mean, we all know that they don't do a lot of future booking. I guess that's my problem with WWE is they don't look 4 or 5 months ahead of time. They're looking at the next week. But hopefully,
is that how you see it? Because this is why we're going to be great. Because I see it that they have their plans set almost in stone all the way for the whole year, and they base everything off of that. I think they go from the top and they try and fill in all the pieces until we get there. That's why we have down weeks. Because they're not thinking about that week. They're thinking about how we're going to progress. Like the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Thank God there's 5-6 weeks in between the TLC and shares and then Royal Rumble. But we've been getting great stories. But that's what happens. When you bring the champion on the air, see what happens. People will watch it, and it's great people actually talking about it. What do you mean, Brock Lesnar's in the WWE again? Yeah. Wait, he's the champion? Yeah. That champion.
You think he's staying?
Staying?
You think he's
I
staying?
don't know. I hear rumors or reports that UFC's contacting him. He's an idiot if he goes back to UFC. I mean, granted, he's got unfinished business there.
I mean, and you think about his schedule with WWE. He has an easy schedule.
The easiest schedule of any part-timer that's out there.
He's the man. I mean,
he's the champion.
He's the champ.
And he doesn't even have to show up on the Raws. Even in his hometown in Minneapolis, Minnesota, he did not show up for that Raw.
Now, okay, so let's say Lesnar wins at Royal Rumble, okay? He retains the title, he goes on to defend at WrestleMania. Now, if he signs another contract with WWE to extend it for another couple of years, regardless of who he's facing, do you think he should keep the title or do you think he should drop it?
No, I think he's dropping it and going face. If he stays past WrestleMania, he's going to become a face and he's going to be feuding with the guy who took the title.
Yeah?
I think it's going to be Rollins coming out with the title for sure. Rollins going to be the champion by the... Is Extreme Rules still in the spot? Yeah. By Extreme Rules, I expect the championship around Rollins' waist, or he will have cashed in by then and lost.
I think I've maybe expressed this to you before. My dream booking for this would be for Cena or Brock. I mean, I don't think they're going to keep the title on Brock at Royal Rumble, unfortunately. But I think either Cena or Brock's going to win the title. Go to defend at WrestleMania. I hope Bryan wins the Royal Rumble. They have to make up for what they did wrong last year. Unless they have some crazy segment for him or some kind of spot where they can set up a good feud with somebody else, that's fine. Then I want to see Bryan beat Lesnar and or Cena, and I want to see Rollins come in and cash in on Bryan to set up a feud for Bryan and Rollins after WrestleMania.
And that would be beautiful. And it would be absolutely beautiful. But WWE, it almost feels like they're writing the shows 5 minutes before the show starts.
But that's what, contradictory to what you just said. You said that you think that they have a plan.
I know. I think they have a plan of where they want to take the product.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have a plan for what they're doing. I mean, how many reports do you read, the final script for Raw just got finished right at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Like, that's uncalled for. And I think it goes back to the, we got a pretty good insight into what they require for being a WWE creative writer. They required 10 years, on the application, they required 10 years of TV writing.
I did not know that.
You'd
be shocked by some things that they write on this show that you have 10 years of writing experience.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We don't need a TV writer. We need a freaking wrestling booker. That's all. The crowd's going to dictate what we want to see. Just give us somebody that's going to give us good... You're not doing... Obviously, you've been a television writer for 10 years. You're not doing that good of a job. Because this is a show that's every week and it's live people. It's not something you get to write down 500 times and then reproduce. I think they should be looking for different qualifications in somebody doing the creative. But going back to what you were saying, Daniel Bryan never lost the WWE Championship. People forget that because WWE likes to repress the stuff they don't want you to know. But then when Dolph Ziggler had to lose his Intercontinental Championship, Triple H goes, I think it should be against the guy who, never really lost the championship. I was like, okay, so you're going to do the same thing with Daniel Bryan? Oh, no, but you're going to Bad News Barrett the title and make him a bad guy again. He was doing fine as a good guy when he came back, and I was like, Triple H. I feel like it's Triple H's fault. It's probably not his fault.
I'm personally a Triple H fan.
I mean, I love Triple H. If anything, I like him better than Austin and Rock back
I blame everything on Vince. But I mean, hey, this is perfect. This is why we're doing the video podcast, is because
hopefully they'll see this. We all know that they're watching this right now. So, Triple H, Vince, I know you're listening out there. Why don't you think some things through? It's 2015 now. Let's stop doing things the old way. Let's start moving towards actually doing good television now because your fans are smart. Stop treating us like we're dumb. We're not dumb. Are you dumb? I know I'm not dumb. I don't think you're dumb either. Yeah. So we're both not dumb. Hardcore wrestling fans, internet wrestling community. Yeah, I know. You're not pandering to us. You're pandering to the 45-year-old soccer mom and the 3 kids that she's got. All Cena fans, let's go Cena. That's his old school word life gimmick. But I don't really like this is the Dudley Boys. This will always be the Dudley Boys to me. Just 3D.
I like this though. Video podcast #1. You're already taking a shoot at Trips himself. I like it.
He's listening right now. Obviously.
Turn up a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take it up to another spot, and this is kind of like all on the spot. This is going in my head. Like I'm trying to think of these questions just randomly.
Right.
Now, there's 3 opponents in the Royal Rumble. If Cena wins the title, who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble? And we'll do this with each person that can win in the triple threat.
Okay, that's a good call. So we're officially moving on from our Raw discussion now. We're just going to be strictly talking about the Royal Rumble, just in case you guys are all lost. I'll put the annotations in there. Don't worry. We got you. If Cena wins the title...
Who's winning the Rumble?
Who's winning the Rumble? Bray Wyatt.
Now, that'd be good. Bray Wyatt versus Cena rematch.
Because Wyatt should have went over last year.
That's creative. I like that.
Yeah.
Lesnar wins title.
Lesnar
retains the title.
Reigns. It's gonna be Roman Reigns.
Reigns. I think that's the least.
I'm trying to do this really quick.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And then Rollins.
If Rollins wins, Ambrose should win the Rumble. But it can still be Reigns.
Could be Reigns.
When are you going to give triple threat with the Shield members over the title?
They have plenty of time to do that.
Hopefully after. No, time's running out. I mean, Dean Ambrose doesn't even care about Seth Rollins anymore.
That takes me back to the Bryan comment. The reason why I see Bryan versus Rollins feud after WrestleMania is because it needs to happen for the fact that, I mean, I feel like every time I see a Bryan match now, I go like this. Like, I don't want to watch. I think he's going to get hurt. Like, every time he takes a bomb, I think he's going to break his neck.
Yeah, I was feeling the same way.
I feel like there's only so many years, I hate to say it, but there's only so many years on Bryan's career. They need to put him with Rollins. They need to have some kind of, I mean, they could take this on for months and have a feud for months.
It would be the best wrestling in years.
And there's the thing, though, it's easy to, like, segue into it. Bryan's already feuded with the authorities, currently feuding with Kane again. Seth Rollins is the main authority head figure right now, like, you want to talk about interference?
I have three things to go off what you said. First of all, Kane is fighting Daniel Bryan because he's the one who put him out of commission. But Daniel Bryan can't go for his title after giving it up. And then, sugar, what did you just say after that? I forget. It's okay, we'll move on. It's not a big deal. We're not going to have any downtime here. We're just going to keep it going. Now, I had some pretty bold moves and predictions that I think that WWE could do to just improve their overall product. I don't have them all here with me, but it starts with finding a different creative team and just switching up the requirements that you have for writing this product, because that's the thing, that's the beauty of it. We can control it. And hell, how many times do you read online, what they could have done differently, or reviews, or what they expect, predictions, and then you're like, wow, if that all happens, I will be happy as hell. And then maybe one of those things happens or nothing happens, and you're just like, why? Thank God I paid for the network, because if I paid $70 for pay-per-view, and we've had the finishes that we've had, hell, I paid $130 for that Battleground pay-per-view. I barely remember any of it, because Triple H was taking all my signs away. That happened.
You took my sign away.
Yeah, I took it. The security got booed when our signs got taken away, because we were in the floor section of the Tampa pay-per-view Battleground. I still had fun with the show.
I had a blast. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was probably, like, just watching pay-per-views is probably the worst pay-per-view of the year, in my opinion. Watching it, like, if I wasn't there.
Oh, I would have hated it.
But being there and being the first couple of rows, I mean, it was just so much fun being at an event regardless.
Hell, Rollins and Ambrose about fought right on top of our cameras.
I think we had a little cameo real quick.
Yeah, no, we were cameos all day, and that's where our signs were getting taken away for.
This is something that you typed up. I mean, we're kind of like looking on an itinerary here.
Yeah, if you see us looking down, sometimes we're looking at trying to follow a certain pattern. Sometimes it's not working out, but we'll see what we're doing.
I say we just do one of each. I like this. I never thought about this. Who's being underutilized and who's being overutilized? Right,
and you can't see it here, but I have a top three, or idea for a top three for underutilized.
Because there's so many people.
Because there's so many people underutilized. I mean, you can go, to the bowels. Let's go to the bowels of the WWE roster. We can just pull out names. So many of them underutilized. We got Cesaro, Zack Ryder's, Ziggler's, even Ryder.
When's the last time we saw Ryder on TV?
That's what I'm saying. Underutilized. The dude's got a following, man. Brings eyes to the television. Bottom line. I mean, I like Eve.
No, I mean, we can go on underutilized, but
right.
I like
a one-and-one.
I like the counter thing. I like you saying who's overutilized. That's not something people really, cover much.
That's because I have something very.
And I feel like I'm not gonna like your answer on this, but go ahead and I can debate later.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of this. We'll debate, and you guys don't forget to let us know below the title, what you guys think of.
Yeah, if you think it sucks, if you think it's horrible, I don't care. We just want feedback.
Yeah, we're open for all opinions.
We're doing this
but
for fun.
If you think what I said is complete and utter garbage, that's fine. Let's be nice to everybody else in the comment section, though, and rebuttal with intelligent arguments. Don't just say, you're X, Y, and Z insults that we hear from trolls on the internet. Let's all have fun. We're all in the same wrestling community. We're all fans of the same product.
Also, if you think we should put a green screen and me wear this shirt every week, so
he just disappears.
There's a floating head off.
Let's get 100 likes, and that'll be a reality. Well, this will be a green screen back here. And but going back to the question, most overutilized, and I know you're not going to like it. It's Seth Rollins.
I hate it.
It's Seth Rollins, man. It's so overutilized. We're not even noticing it. He's on screen at least 3 segments of the night. Okay? and he's riding the coattails of the Triple H authority regime, which is fine because that's how they're building. At least they're building a younger talent up, but they're forcing him down our throats for being the bad guy. You sold out. You sold out. That's great, but I'm not like. I don't think that he could beat anybody in a one-on-one matchup.
Yeah.
I'm not threatened by him. Like he's a great heel character because of what he did for the Shield.
But that's what, and that's what I love about it is I think that, and you're going to disagree with me, but I think they're using him perfectly just for this very reason because you hate him, and I understand that you think that he goes on TV too much. I mean, do you groan when you see him?
No, I just think that he overexposure. Same thing that they were doing with Reigns when he wasn't even there.
But at the same time, though, if they weren't utilizing him enough, then he'd be underutilized. Oh
yeah, you're right. It's a very fine line between over and underutilized. But I'd much rather see him doing this. Don't get me wrong. Than Cesaroing out, which I'm going to change the term jobbing to Cesaroing because God forbid he get a win, and God forbid he actually be pushed forward after the Andre the Giant Royal Rumble.
Now I'm going to one-up you. I'm going to say they're underutilizing Seth Rollins just for this fact. Now they're doing all the normal heel things like him getting cheap wins.
Okay.
Him showing up a lot. I mean, everybody boos him. I mean, I love it. But I don't know if you've watched him as Tyler Black in Ring of Honor. He has a moveset like no other, and I feel like they are just kind of nursing it. And he has so many moves in his Rolodex per se that he doesn't use on television or hasn't used yet.
Yeah, but you know the reason behind that. Obviously, some people you can't. WWE's not going to let somebody do a move that somebody else is doing. It's just not in the cards for their company.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of like just. I feel like there's a lot that Seth Rollins still has to give to us as the fans, and I feel like he's going to be heel for a very long time.
He's going to be giving that to us as a babyface, though. He's not going to be giving us that. Those are pop-worthy spots that he does, jumping off the ropes and stuff, and being a risk taker. And I think he's
one thing that he's going to do is he's going to look up Tyler Black from his Ring of Honor days after this, and this will be something to follow up that when we talk about on our next week podcast.
Well, yeah.
And also, if you have any videos of Seth Rollins or Tyler Black that your favorite match, I mean, post them up. I mean,
there's kind of a comment section below, guys.
Thread.
There's always stuff to put down below, and we're gonna read and respond to every single comment. No questions asked.
Now, I want to throw something up there. I go on Reddit Squared Circle. I know something that you don't really.
Right. That's why we also mess because we get our wrestling news from completely different sites. Sometimes we overlap with some sites, but we get our news from varying different sources. And that's, so he goes to the Reddit and subreddit.
Yeah, it's more like a discussion. Like, people share stories and stuff, but honestly, it's just fun to see what everyone's opinions on something like this. And like a lot of people have been talking about doing video podcasts solely dedicated to the Squared Circle and what people are talking about and posts and whatnot. I mean, I think it'd be cool to make it like a little feature of our thing to maybe feature somebody from Squared Circle, or maybe have a guest, like somebody I guess my brother might be on the show, or just have somebody that we can call in and talk to, and maybe have other opinions other than me and yours. So I mean, hopefully it's something I can post on Reddit after this is over, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of negative feedback because there's more negative people than positive people. I feel like on that.
Not so much that, but you're always more willing to say something when you've had a bad experience than you are when you've had a good experience. Not so many times just be like, oh, I love that restaurant, or oh, this video was great, thank you. No, that's what the thumbs up button's for, and that's what the share button is for. But yeah, obviously let us know what you're thinking and let us know that you like it, because we're going to be doing this every week, and if we can keep getting likes and we can keep getting some shares and some comments, we're going to be changing it to maybe twice a week, maybe even a daily show, but we'll get there. He just had a baby. But it is what it is. Some of us have other stuff to do other than talk to a light for good, what are we coming up on? Almost 30 minutes. And that's a very good cutoff time to be at around 30 minutes. Let's try and power through the rest of this, Mike. I wanted to get your opinion on why Hulk Hogan is inducting Randy Savage. Do you think that's a shot at WWE trying to get the last jab in at Randy Savage, or you think that that's something that's actually going to be touching?
You know what? I'm kind of indifferent about the Hall of Fame. I mean, I know that's not the most popular answer, but it's kind of boring to me. I mean, like, Randy Savage is obviously a Hall of Famer. Honestly, I didn't even know that Randy Savage wasn't in the Hall of Fame.
Okay. How do you not know that? That's like the one omitted name. I mean, CM Punk would bring that up on a regular basis.
I feel like, I always assumed that he was, and the fact that he was inducted this year, I was like, oh, I mean.
Well, no, because he was going to be inducted a long time ago, but he wanted his whole family. They wanted all the Pavets to be inducted with him.
It's a good thing you brought this up, because, I mean, this is something I even knew.
Yeah, that's what happens. You get your news from different sites, you don't hear everything, and then it is what it is. I mean, he gets stuff that I don't hear. But, yeah, he wanted his whole family to be in it. And that's like the big story there. And they didn't want to put him in alone without his family because that's what he wanted. And they're saying that's the reason I asked you about Hulk Hogan is because his relationship with Hulk Hogan wasn't really smoothed out. It was kind of, they were being civil at best from the reports that I'm reading on Backstage News. And, yeah, man, I really think that it's not good. I mean, you can't really do it. I mean, everybody's dead. It's really sad. I mean, they're inducting dead people every single year into the Hall of Fame, and it's really sad to see all the greats just be passing away.
Like
we're really lucky to still Hulk Hogan, to be honest with you.
I mean, honestly, and that's something that, again, like, people could talk about and give their opinion, because, like, I mean, it's cool that you have a passionate opinion about that. Like, that's something I didn't know much about, and, I mean, so is his family upset that he is getting inducted now?
I don't think so. I think his brother was like, he as a wrestler, not, Randy the Macho Man Savage, to this day, you could say, oh yeah, and everybody around you is going to know what you're talking about. Tell me the name or the kayfabe, names of his other family members that wrestled. Right. That's why they shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree.
And the fact that you already thought Randy Savage was in the Hall of Fame is the reason why he should be in the Hall of Fame. But there's other names like The Rock, like The Undertaker, like Kane, like Big Show, like Jericho, like Cena, like Punk, Daniel Bryan. I mean, Daniel Bryan, I don't know if he'd go in the Hall of Fame. With his career ended right now, I don't know if he'd go in the Hall of Fame.
He would.
I don't know if he would.
I mean, I don't know if you went to WWE.com, but they're even recognizing his years before WWE as part of his greatest matches, which I thought was a shock to me, that they were mentioning stuff from ROH and New Japan, like...
Oh, okay, I didn't know that they were doing that. Well,
they did a top 25 matches, and I expected every match to be a WWE match. I started flicking through it, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing all these great matches, and, I mean, I think it's pretty cool, so we'll see what happens.
The crack exposure.
I'm guessing you're going to want to wrap this up soon.
Well, yeah, you sent me a meme the other day, though, about WWE's best developmental program is Ring of Honor. It's not NXT, it's Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor.
Even though I love the NXT product and we love doing that.
But it will slowly move into NXT where they breed their own people. And that's how we end it. Let's do this. You can ask me one thing, I'll ask you one thing. We'll give a quick response, and then maybe we'll just talk to the viewers about what to do following this, and then wrap it up.
Well, I didn't really have any questions picked out for you, Mike. I left all my notes on the desk at work. But what I do want to do is I want to do our bets. What we've been doing for a couple months now, almost a year, is we've been placing bets, minimal bets, not like break and bank bets, just about what we think. It's more predictions with an incentive attached to it. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to pick our predictions for the Royal Rumble winner, and we're allowed to do 2 people, and we're going to go back and forth to pick them, and then we're going to pick off of memory, because I don't have it pulled up here, all the matches, and obviously SmackDown hasn't aired, all the winners we think they're going to be of the Royal Rumble card, the matches themselves. Okay, so first, we'll let you go first. You take the first pick in the 2015 Royal Rumble match. Who is your pick to win it?
Oh, who's going to win the Royal Rumble? As much as I think Roman Reigns is going to win it, which sucks, I have to stick with Daniel Bryan.
Okay, you're taking
Daniel Bryan's my guy.
Right. Okay, and that leaves me with literally I gotta take Reigns.
And we're picking 2 people each?
Yeah, we're picking 2 people each.
So my second guy.
And basically the first one you pick is basically where all the rumors are going for and who realistically has a shot at winning. But this next one can be a wild card, can be a dark horse, can be who you want.
I'm going to throw a wild card, and I'm going to throw you off for a bone. I'm going to say Cena.
You think Cena is going to enter the Royal Rumble after losing the title match? You think they're going to do the Rumble match after the title?
Cena wins. Cena wins all. He always wins.
Yeah, you're right. If Cena's in that match, he's going to win it. And he's going to be the only other person title Stone Cold for 3 wins in the Royal Rumble.
Now that I took your fave, who you got?
Well, I wasn't going to pick Cena anyway. That's just we're betting. $5 to $10. We'll let the number's going to be not disclosed on here just because.
And maybe we can wear something goofy in the next podcast for the loser.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll put some smaller videos up here. But we're going to finish this out. I'm going to go ahead and take Dean Ambrose.
Ooh, I would like to see Dean Ambrose win, but I don't think he has a shot.
Actually, no, you're right. Sorry, I made a mistake. Dean Ambrose is not eligible for the Royal Rumble. So I'm going to go with Randy Orton, making a comeback, winning the whole thing as a babyface, and then giving the match with Brock Lesnar that they should have done at the St. Louis pay-per-view. I think that was TLC.
That wouldn't be bad. I'm not a huge Orton fan, but I would not be unhappy about that. And the good thing is that I feel like a lot of people anticipated that Randy Orton was going to come back weeks ago as a surprise.
No, now they're forgetting.
And now people forget about him, and I had a feeling.
Well, actually, he did come back to the live events, but he never came back on television, which.
If he doesn't
Stop insulting your fans, WWE!
I think they're saving him for the Royal Rumble. If he doesn't emerge in the Royal Rumble, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, I'll be really shocked. And we're going to probably have a live reaction video up or some post-reaction video following the Royal Rumble. But hey, guys, thank you so much
Leave
for
comments,
watching.
please.
Absolutely.
Let
us
us know what you hate, what you love, mostly what you want us to talk about. We might not talk about things that you wanted to hear about, and that's why we're doing this. We kind of just had like an overview of what we wanted to do. So if you want us to talk about different things or have certain segments, funny, unrelated, but somewhat toward wrestling, I mean, just let us know.
Yeah.
Leave a comment.
Ask us questions that you want to hear us answer on the podcast here as well.
Do you set up an email?
I will be setting up an email. It'll be right down here on the bottom of the video. You will see it when the video is being put up.
Oh.
No, it'll be down. I'll be putting it on the bottom. I think the bottom will be the best place for all the links and the annotations and stuff. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching Major Push Wrestling Talk Show.
It's been fun.
Episode 1.
35 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, time flies.
We do talk about wrestling a lot.
Yeah, and thank you guys for giving us a medium to express our opinions.
Let us know what you think.